Can you turn it down, please?
What's good, everybody? This your man's DB coming back at you with another machine tutorial. This one right here, this is what I love about Maschine. It is a little counterintuitive. It can be a little crazy. It can be a little time consuming, but this is what we do. This is why we producers. But anyway, man, this is what I'm going with on today. Today we're going to talk about arrangement and the ideas mode. So I got a track that I've created. I've already showed you how to bus. I've already showed you how to do automation. Now with that, and making the beat in Maschine to make a full track or full production in Maschine, I'm going to show you arrangement and ideas mode. So let's just jump right into it. So first, I'm going to show you the beat that I made, instrument by instrument. I'm going to mute all of them, and I'm going to start with what I started with first. So that's what I got. How I go about arranging it. First, as I said before, I love linear DAWs. Maschine is not a linear DAW. With Maschine, you have to create patterns in order to create like a live. Full tracks. So there's two modes to Maschine. There's this ideas mode where you can. It's pretty much it's like Ableton, where each part is, well, let me just click. It's like I'm building patterns. That's what it is. So I'm going to undo that. All right. And the other mode that we normally like to see in Maschine is the scenes view. So with scenes is how you have like scene 1 can be your intro, scene 2 can be your verse, scene 3 pre-hook, scene 4 hook, so on and so forth. And that's how you build your song. That's how you build your scenes. So what I like to do, I like to start off in ideas mode, because what I do with that is first I'll create what all I want in the song. So I'll start with the intro. All right, got the intro. And I'll do what I call, so for each section that I create a break in that. And what I mean by break is when there's like no music, like a cut or a mute. So I'll have the intro going for 2 bars or 4 bars. However long I set them, and then I'll create a break where it's only 2 bars or maybe even 3 bars, and then it just cuts out in the 4th bar. And I'll show you what I mean by that once we get more into it. So I got the intro break, got the verse, then create a verse break. Then after the verse break, I do a verse change. And after the verse change, then I'll do a verse change break. And as y'all know, I like to be organized. So I'll show y'all how I do that. Then I got the pre-hook. Then I do, and this is on every song. I do this for every song that I create. Pre-hook break. Then I got the hook. Then the hook break. And that's it. And then sometimes y'all will see me create like a alternate hook. And it's not really alternate. It's just the pattern that I create is alternate. So I have the hook break. All right. Let's start with the intro. So as I said before, each group, even though it got 16 pads, I only use 1 per instrument. And the reason that I do that is because, like I said, I like linear DAWs. So instead of having 16 sounds on one group, I like to see all my sounds individually on each group. I'm going to play the song and I'm going to see what I don't want in there. So, of course, I know I do not want the drums. So right now, I have pattern 1 selected on all of my sounds, correct? So what I'll do is I'll delete what I don't want in the intro. So I'll start with just this. So that's only 4 bars. So I want my intro to be 8 bars. So the way I look at it is my first intro is 4 bars. This is my other 4 bars. That makes 8 total for the intro. Now, with the last bar, I want it to be a break. So what I like to do is I'm going to name each pattern what part or what scene I'm going to have it in. So like pattern 1 on my creepy EP, I'll make this, or I'll say full, because what that is I have the entire sound playing. I have no breaks in my sound. I go to pattern. I'm going to duplicate that first pattern to the second one. So now I got the same exact pattern as pattern 1. But what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take this one. I'm going to say break. And the reason that I do that is because that last bar, I'm going to stop it. See? So that's my break. So now I'm going to do that for each sound. So I'm going to go here, pattern, duplicate, and I'm going to break the last bar, or the 4th section of that last bar. So for each bar is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, break that last one on the 4th section of the 4th bar. So again, I'm going to name this break. Take my other pattern and name it full. That's so I know it's what. Now, same thing for the dark synth. Duplicate the pattern. I'm going to name this break. First pattern, what I'm going to name it? Full. That is correct. I'm going to go to my other sound as well. Duplicate that. Name this one full. And then name this one break. Now, as you can see on my machine, on each sound, you can see the patterns. Full, break. Full, break. So that's on each sound. You see what I'm saying? So now I have organized my track. Well, not completely. So I'm a little anal. And I like my drums to be first. My drums is always blue. Let's change this. Make my drums blue. My bass comes after my drums, and I always keep my bass yellow. That's not my bass. This is my bass. Then I have any piano that I have. Piano, I use purple. Piano, purple. And then my arpeggiator, I'm going to call it, I mean, it is keys, but I'm going to call it a pluck. So all my plucks, I do, orange. That's what I do. I do orange for my plucks. And then, like, if I have any pads, I do my pads as pink. So pads, pink, piano's purples, pluck is orange, bass is yellow, and my drums are blue. My bell, this is a pluck. Well, I mean, it's a bell, but I consider that a pluck, like a one sound standoff or whatever. So already, I don't even have to look at the name of my sounds. Each sound I got, color coded. So now I know, oh, there's my drums. Oh, that's my bass. That's my piano. So on and so forth. So I don't even have to go looking for it for real or find out which is which. I know by color. So that is how I set up my patterns. Well, okay, now I haven't done the drums, but that's how I set up my patterns for all my sounds. Now, here is the part that I need you guys to pay attention to. Each drum part, I got so you can continue. You can pretty much call this the full or my hook. So I mean, it might not be full, but this is the pattern. This is the pattern that I created. So with this one, I'll call this hook. So when I make this hook, what I do is I duplicate it for each section. So I have an intro break, a verse break, verse change break. So I will in total have 10 patterns for my drums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For my drums, I have the hook. So what I do is I'll duplicate the drums 10 times. Well, 9 times. So I already got one. So I duplicate 9 times. Now I got 10 patterns. So what I'll do with that, like I say, it can be a little tedious, but it is worth it. I'm telling you. So on my first one, I should have just named it intro. Intro. Second one. Intro break. And so on and so forth. Now, the reason, again, that I duplicated this 9 times is because now for each section, I have a drum pattern that's going to be different for each section. Each section is going to be different. So what I like to do is I'll start off with the intro, right? And let's say the intro, I didn't want any drums. Let's unsolo this. I didn't want any drums. I don't want the bass. I don't want this. I just want no, I do want the creepy EP. Everything else I don't want. Now, the reason why I switched this is because after these 4 bars, in my scenes on my playlist section, it's going to go to the intro break. And the reason why it's empty is because I didn't click on what patterns I want to play in the intro break. So for each section, you will select what you want to play. So now for the intro break, what do you think I want to play? All the break sections. So I only got the EP in there. So I'm going to add that. There we go. So I know there will be nothing playing on the intro. Intro break. Let's see. So I'm going to play it. And once these 4 bars in, I'm going to move straight to the intro break. And let's see what it sounds like. And with this, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to stretch out my pattern so I can see what's all in there. I'm going to delete the kick. I'm going to delete the snare. I'm actually going to delete these as well. Let's hear it. Okay, now after hearing it, I want to take this out. After hearing it, I want to take out the open hi-hat. Let's take that out. And let's add one more thing. Let's see. I'm going to add the arpeggiator. So start from the inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3. Stop. See? And then from there, I'm going straight to the verse. So now my verse, let's say I want, I'm going to leave the dark synth out. I'm going to leave this in. I'm going to leave that in, and I'll add the drums, right? So let's go from the intro from the intro break. So it's going to be 4 bars, the last 4 bars, and then I'm going to go straight to the verse to see what it sounds like. 2, 3. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, stop. So I like this, but it does sound a little empty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back, go to the intro, and I'm gonna add the full bass because it sounds a little empty. Now it sounds a little fuller. Oh, you know what? I should have been don't stop. So let's see. Don't hop. See, there you go. See, not that's why I got my break in there. Now let's go straight to the verse. Let's add my full bass and let's see what it sounds like after that. So I'm gonna go from the top. 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, intro, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, stop, So there we go. So for the verse, I'm going to take out this arpeggiator. And then also another thing that I like to do, I love this sound, but I wanted to switch up. So I'm going to duplicate the full again, and I'm going to put it right next to the break. Then I'm going to duplicate the break and put it right next to the other pattern I just created. So the reason that I did that is because, so now I got the full and the break. Now I want to lower my octave. So I'm going to go into my piano roll. So I can either do that by clicking this piano right here or click Shift keyboard mode or pad mode, and it brings me there. All right. So I'm going to find my sound. Zoom out. I'm going to highlight everything. Boom. See, I liked it a little bit. So that's cool. So what I'll do, I'll call this low octave full. Now I know what's what. Then I call this low octave break. Go through. So I'll hit select all or command all. Go down. I'll put it on there. Now I got a break. All right. So from there, I have all my sections. Now I'm going to do the same for the rest of them. Matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and do it. So I go to pattern, duplicate that one, which is my full. Then I'm going to duplicate this one, and then that's my break. And I'm going to call this low octave full. And then low octave break. And of course, I have to go into pad mode again. Select all. I'm going to bring it down to that A. All right. Let's go to my bell. You know what? I'm not going to make a lower octave of that one. All right. All right, so now I'm back to where I need to be. Now I am in my verse, and I get to choose and see what I want in my verse. So I do want the creepy EP. I'm going to leave arpeggiator, and I'm going to take the bell out. Okay, so there we go. There we go. So that's my verse. Let's do verse break, and I'm going to do break bass, break low octave, and verse break. And what I'll do with the verse break, again, I didn't do this for the drums, but I'm going to take the last patterns out. Now, my verse break is done. Now for my verse change. So normally what I like to do is, the verse sounds just like the hook, but I'm going to change it up. So for my verse change, I'm going to do a different drum pattern. Probably a different bass as well. But without the bass, I'm going to add this and this. Because now it changed up. So now that it changed up, I can come out this low octave. I'll jump right back to the high octave. And then for the verse, I normally like to take the So now that my bass is doing a little something different with this bass line right here, I feel like I should add me a 808. So let's find one. Yep, so that's pretty much it. So now I got my verse changed. So I'm gonna let you hear it from the verse. So now I got that. Now I know I already duplicated this pattern, but because I got an 808 and a new kick in there, I'm going to duplicate that pattern right next to my verse change. I'm gonna put it on my verse change break, and the reason why, because I'm gonna duplicate the verse change, put it on a verse change break. It took my name out. And let's rename it verse change break. And what I'll do with that is I'll have the same thing, but I'll delete, as you know it, each parts that I don't want in there. Let's hear it. So I like that break. So now that I got that in there, my pre-hook, I pretty much would like no kick, no open hi-hat or big snare, just my clap and probably my, yeah, there you go. I have my bass. So same thing. I probably can take this out. Yep. So now that I got that, I'm going to duplicate my pre-hook. And now I will change that to my pre-hook break. And pretty much all you really doing, man, is you building a foundation when you first start to make the beat. Once you build that foundation, then you're going to add layers to that foundation. And that's all I'm doing. I already created the foundation when I did I had all the patterns in with, I had all the sounds in with one pattern. And that was my foundation. So now I got the sound or the beat together. Not the beat, but I got the main melody and drums down. Now I'll just add layers by adding different layers of the drums and layers of the sounds, just manipulating the sounds a little bit more. I still have a lot of effects that I want to put on this stuff and some other glitch and stuff like that. So it's not even totally done. But this is how I get by with creating my songs. So now that I created that is my pre-hook. I'm going to do a pre-hook break. I'm going to do the same thing. Pre-hook break. I'm going to do the low break on here. No, I had nothing here. Do the break here and the break here. So these hi-hats should have been gone. Let's see. There we go. Now I got my pre-hook. Now for my hook, of course, we just add full everything for the first part. Full hook, which is originally how the song went. And then my hook break, and break on everything else. There we go. Now we got everything. So from the top, and again, this is ideas mode. So each section is broken off by each part is broken off by these sections. So they will only loop the sections that you have highlighted. So as I stated, when I do my duplicates, I hold duplicate, click what I want to duplicate, and hit it to the next pad. So there you go. So now I just duplicated this pattern, which is my verse change here. I'm gonna undo it. That's pretty much how you duplicate my pattern mode. Another thing that I showed was scene mode, which each one of these scenes, intro break, verse break, verse change, so on and so forth. These are all my different scenes. And what I'm going to do is put them into my playlist mode. I got everything color coded. I apologize that it wasn't recording the entire time, but you'll get the gist of it as you see the video. But so just to finish up, I still have a bunch of effects and stuff that I want to put on here, but this is the gist of my song. So now that I got all my ideas out the way of how I want it, now to hear it from top to bottom with no stops, I go to playlist mode. Now, wait a minute. I just did all that work and it's deleted? No. What it is, I'm all in ideas mode. And in order to arrange it to where it's linear, it's still, it won't be linear, but to where it looks linear. This plus button, you click it, and now you opened up your first scene. And it's only looping that. Now, I'm going to undo that. Because what I like to do is, instead of clicking the plus, I will right click the plus. And so you can create where you'll start a new section or a new scene, or you can append, which I can bring in everything that I've already created. So I'm just going to bring everything in, list it from left to right. Intro. And this is one thing that I dislike is when I'm doing this, I got to continue to stretch this out so I can put more in. But we're going to go ahead and do it. Intro break, verse break. And it's an easy way of doing this, and only way I have to do it. Verse change. There we go. Now I'm done. That's the easier way of doing it. And I showed you both ways. and we can go from the top and see what it sounds like. One thing you have to do, this is your loop. As you can see, it's looped right here. And it will only loop that section until you tell it that you want to loop the entire song. So let's start from the top. So yeah, that is how I arrange in Maschine. I use my playlist mode and I use my ideas mode. Another way to get to that on the Maschine, I can hit arrange. I'm in the arrangement view. As you can see, that's my full arrangement. Here, and I can go through and put in which ones I want. Or while in arrangement mode, I'll hold shift, see where it says ideas and song. There's my ideas mode. So now, and within ideas mode, I can see what's what in each idea. So you can also build a Maschine as well. When I tell you it is extremely easy. It is extremely easy. And that's how I do it, man. That's how I do it. That is how I do it. I just want to show you guys how I do it, man, because I know it's a lot of people out here that can't really get a hold of the Maschine or can't get a grasp on Maschine. And I was once there, but I was so adamant about just using Maschine alone, man. Maschine is freaking powerful, powerful, powerful DAW. And I paid a wealthy amount of money for this. So it don't make sense to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different DAWs that I'm using in creation when we spend all this money for our gear. Let's just use what we got, man. Let's become masters of whatever it is that we use instead of flipping and jumping to different DAWs to try to make it easy for us, because we actually making it harder for ourselves because we got to learn each DAW anyway just to get the basics. So why not get the basics of every DAW and then stick with one that you mainly use? So Maschine is my go-to, and I use Logic because I'm a musician. But if you haven't checked out my other 2 videos, I have a video on bussing and I have a video on automation. After I arrange my beat, I go ahead and do my bussing. After I do my bussing, then I go ahead and do my automation, and my track is finished. So I add transitions and beat tags and all that stuff in there as well. But that's how I get it done. That's how I do Maschine. Just tune in for the next video. All right, man. I am out.